Hey, it's Sleeper on Your Marks Wrestling, and I'm here with a predictions video for Money in the Bank 2018 for June 17th, I believe is today's date. I made a predictions video yesterday for NXT TakeOver and went for 5 for 5, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself, but this one seems a lot harder to predict. Mostly because WWE has been so predictable of late that if they don't go predictable, then all my picks will be screwed up. With that being said, here are my picks. So the pre-show is apparently going to be the Bludgeon Brothers versus Gallows and Anderson, the Good Brothers. I think the Bludgeon Brothers go over in this match. I feel like I would love to see Gallows and Anderson put up a really, really good fight here, and this setting up a feud. I feel like they need a little bit of a rehab of their characters or their team. They have gotten a little bit of it just from moving over, but I think they need a little bit more here. So I hope it's a very competitive match, surprisingly competitive match, but I don't think the Bludgeon Brothers can lose this early after being so dominant. Then we have Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. I picked Bryan to win this. I feel like there's a good chance it would be Cass. But I really feel like they just need to move on from this thing. It's just not doing it for me. So because of that reason, I'm picking Bryan. I think he wins, and then Cass can move on to something else. Then we have the women's match, Money in the Bank match. So it's got Ember Moon, Charlotte, Alexa, Becky, Natalya, Lana, Naomi, and Sasha. I basically, on the Money in the Banks, you have to assume that they're probably going to go to different brands. It's not guaranteed. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, which title picture is a little bit more evenly matched kind of deal? And I feel a later prediction will affect this, but I said it has to be a SmackDown woman, in my opinion. And then you have to pick the person who is not necessarily the most obvious choice. I think that's kind of boring, right? Charlotte is going to get title shots all the time. She's been a champion 25 times already. That's not an accurate number, but you know. So you know that she's going to be back in the title picture. So who would make it special? And to me, it's the person who was the first SmackDown champion and hasn't sniffed it since then, which is Becky. I think Becky Lynch is going to win this match. If it ends up going the SmackDown way, I chose an alternate pick, which is a scenario that I don't really want, but at least it would justify the annoying Natalya saying she's Ronda Rousey's friend all the damn time thing. So Natalya wins, and then she gets to face her friend. That would be kind of at least an interesting storyline, but it all depends on the result of that match. Similarly, for the men, I had to pick a brand, so because I picked SmackDown for the women, I picked Raw for the men. Now, they could very well do a double. I think they're kind of teasing. They said, Raw wants both of them. I wouldn't be surprised to see SmackDown get both of them, and that causes a storyline with Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle, something like that. But I still stuck to Raw because I think WWE is afraid of kind of switching things up. And I looked at those people, and then so it eliminated a bunch of people. But then I had Strowman, Balor, Miz, or Owens, I believe, were the picks. And I said, of those people, who would use it probably best? Probably Balor. It's nice to have a good guy with Money in the Bank, I think, because it gets the crowd going nuts. But I don't see Balor getting it this time, and Strowman's definitely not getting it. There's too much value in him just being a monster anyway. I guess it could be cool, but I don't see them doing it. I ended up picking Owens. I think Owens adds a little bit of intrigue to it. I don't know. It was just a feeling. I was kind of even on most of them. If I had my pick of who would win it, I would give it to Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe, having that thing, being a constant threat, being so good on a mic, could kind of come out and taunt people. I think Samoa Joe would be a perfect winner of it, and I'd be really happy to see it, but I'm predicting Owens. Then we have Styles versus Nakamura, a feud that I thought I would love, but WWE has made me not like that much. the matches have been good for the most part, but I don't know. I'm just not caring as much. I still pick Styles in this one. I think he has to. He has to win. Granted, that would delay Nakamura's kind of reign, but I find that if Styles wins and the title goes off of him, eventually I think Nakamura beats whoever beats Styles. I think that works fine, and then you can get them back together and have proper matches, and everybody's going to be happy. Nia Jax versus Rousey. All throughout this, I was going, you know what? They can't put it on Rousey that quickly, right? They can't put it on Rousey that quickly. Let Jax win. Let Jax win. But they've been doing so much terrible work to Jax's character that, and I keep thinking, like, isn't this Rousey's first singles match? Like, will they have her lose her debut singles match? I don't see that happening. So I'm actually going to pick Rousey, and I hope that if she wins, as previously mentioned, Natalya wins the Money in the Bank, and then we have a trainer or training partner, best friend versus best friend thing, and it causes some animosity, and then I never have to hear Natalya say, you know, Ronda is my best friend. Ronda is my friend. I hate it. I hate it so much. She does promos, and they're like, hey, Natalya, how do you feel about this victory? She's like, oh, I'm just friends with Rousey. It makes no sense. The next match, Carmella versus Asuka. I had picked Asuka, but the more I think about it, the more I think there's going to be interference in this match from the Iconics, or maybe someone else, but I would think it's the Iconics, and I feel like Carmella retains. I feel like keeping Carmella as the champion, especially with the Money in the Bank win going to SmackDown, which is what I'm predicting for the women, keeping Carmella as a very easily beatable champion is a really kind of useful thing. It sets up good intrigue throughout the couple weeks after Money in the Bank. I would like to see an early cash-in. I don't want to see this waiting a year thing. Granted, it was fine. But I'd like to see an early cash-in by Becky Lynch. She becomes champion. I'd love to see a Becky Lynch-Asuka match at a pay-per-view. Asuka can win the championship then, and then you can get your Charlotte-Asuka rematch. And I think that would be a really nice kind of setup. I'd like to see Naomi kind of in that picture, not necessarily winning, but fighting for it too. So I think that would work great. Then have Roman Reigns over Jinder Mahal because it's the WWE. I don't see it going any other way. I have Bobby Lashley winning over Zayn. I don't see any reason why they'd give Zayn this win. I would I don't know. I'd say I'd love it. I think I would love for this feud to be over. I like Zayn on the mic a lot. I just don't like his dynamic with Lashley. And then the last match, I've got my big surprise of the night. Probably the most kind of popular guy in WWE right now, at least in terms of the Raw brand. I have Seth Rollins losing to Elias. And I'll explain that. I guess you don't really have to explain the loss, but Elias has been really, really important to the brand. And I feel like you need to kind of just give him a little bit to cement him. And I think Elias winning the Intercontinental Championship can cause a little bit of a feud between he and Rollins for a little while longer. Like, you can still keep that feud going. But I feel what the best part about Elias winning this match would be leaving Rollins open to go up to the heavyweight championship. He's good as an Intercontinental Champion, don't get me wrong. He's very popular with the crowd, but I feel like he should be at the very top of the company, not second tier. Elias would gain so much more from that belt. And then I would love to see Rollins kind of go after that championship. I think it's time to give Strowman a shot at it and get him to win. I'd like to see Rollins be the first guy to beat Strowman for the championship after. I don't know. I just don't think he belongs on the mid-card. I think he belongs kind of higher than that. Like, this is high mid-card, but still he belongs higher than that. That is my big surprise pick for the night. I'm concerned. I don't know what I think of this card. It could be okay. Coming off of NXT TakeOver yesterday, which was actually probably one of the weakest takeovers I've seen, and still a great show. I have a weird level of expectations. Everything post WrestleMania on WWE has been underwhelming, to say the least. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said earlier, I do plan on doing reviews of this week's TV shows. I'm sorry that I'm so far behind. Life is kind of getting in the way, but that's okay. It means I'm employed. It means I'm paying rent. I'm doing things like that, so can't complain too much. All right, thanks for watching.